I'm Gabriel Falcon.
I'm Karim Belmonte.
And we're here with the My Name is Climate Film Festival, where a series of different documentaries and film are showing us stories from resilience and action in the context of the climate movement.
Hi, my name is Los Angeles Barea. I'm the writer, producer, director of Green SuperHeroes 2030 documentary that we're hoping is coming, it's going to be released in September.
And my name is Katia. I'm a protagonist in the film and an environmental advocate.
Okay, so having a look a bit into your background, we know that you've dealt with some socially engaged topics in your films, such as bullying. And now with Green SuperHeroes 2030, you're focusing on sustainability and ecology. What led you to take on this issue?
Yes, I always been all my life, I always care about the planet and also a lot of human rights issues and people, try to help, and try to help in all the issues that the world's going through right now, but I honestly believe that, climate is basically the most important right now, because I talk to a lot of people about a lot of, human rights issues, but if we don't have planet, we don't have anything. So how it started, my daughter, Katia, she's my daughter, an environmentalist with 6 years old. She asked me, Mom, can you help me to help, is there anything we can do to help the planet? And that as a mom, make me think, okay, but I look everywhere, and I found these nonprofits, especially one called Grace of Green, so that is helping a lot of students around the world for free. I mean, they're volunteers, and they help children from all over the world, and they have a mentor, and that's how Katia and we started to volunteer, and we learn a lot about the environment. And things that we could do to help and how they direct us. As a filmmaker, I started to realize that I did a lot of research, and I realized that there's some studies made, and it's very dramatic. And the studies in 30,000 children shows that 88% of the children are really, really worried about climate, and 60% to the point that they're developing mental anxiety and mental issues. So in my experience, I started to get to know these amazing children from Grace of Green, and also I started to research, and I realized there's a lot of children trying to help the environment, doing their own projects. And I said, how can I, using film, how can I help to spread the message and create awareness? So that's how the idea of Green SuperHeroes 2030, was created. And I put the whole production together. It wasn't easy, because there's still difficult to finance a lot of these projects for whatever reason, So I pulled a team together, a small team, filming with children is not easy too. So that's what it took me a little more time, to like 2 years, because some children have school, and we were have to organize with the parents, but it was like one superhero for a month. And after the post-production, and I saw the whole adventure. We filmed in the Amazon rainforest. We decided to get, to include children from all over the world as much as our budget let us. So we have children from Brazil, Kenya, Holland, Netherlands, Ecuador. We would have loved to add more, but at that time, that's the group we could put together. And this is how the movie was born.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful planet called Earth.
Our generation is going through a global crisis.
Heat waves, floods, cyclones, drought, and air pollution.
Climate change.
Climate change wreaks havoc on ecosystems, economies, and all living things around the globe.
I believe there are many things we can all do to solve problems. We can all be part of the solution.
If we don't take any actions now, we will have to ask Jeff Bezos to take us to another planet.
Spoiler alert, that won't happen. There's not a second Earth. No one will clean it up.
Our green superheroes, they have power. They use their magic to make a world a better place.
Today, we're going to show you some of their stories.
My name is Kyle Tianchi. There's this one mysterious substance, microplastics.
Did you know that you're eating a credit card's worth of plastic every week?
My name is Katia Thomas. I wanted to see if there was a way we could reduce waste.
Like these shirts I'm sitting on, these are made out of milk jugs. I have a nonprofit called Project 3R for reduce, reuse, and recycle. We have a fleet of vans in different cities in Southern California.
Hey guys, my name is Sam Torres. I took it upon myself to create a Meatless Monday campaign.
Animal agriculture is responsible for 14.5% of all greenhouse gases. And that's because they fart, guys.
Nina Gomez is from Brazil. Every day after school, she goes and picks up trash in the ocean.
Mi nombre es Janet, tengo 16 años y vivo en la Amazonía norte del Ecuador. Ayúdanos a proteger nuestra selva de la deforestación y las plataformas petroleras que destruyen nuestras casas y contaminan nuestros ríos.
My name is Justin. So far, I've protected 65 acres of land.
My name is Maleka Iana Odeño.
I have planted over 75,000 trees.
My name is Jessica Ong. I founded Toys to Care with the goal of redistributing toys.
My name is Connor Berryhill. Underwater, there's no such thing as like discrimination. It's a fascinating world. My mom partially thinks because when she was pregnant with me, she watched a lot of David Attenborough movies. Maybe that's true, I don't know.
My perfect green world of 2030 is where people no longer view taking care of the environment as a chore.
Where humans and animals not only coexist, but we should also take our own responsibilities for our own actions.
I'd want to see humans being more empathetic.
Where we figure out a way to get rid of all the plastic and replace it with a biodegradable replacement.
In my dream 2030, we've taken action to collaborate together to reduce our current trajectory of global warming.
Protecting our planet starts with you.
No action is small, but we need to act now.
We can't ever forget that all we have is each other.
So, following your background in film and your relation and your perspective as a filmmaker, how do you think that films and documentaries can help tackle this global crisis that is climate change?
Well, you can see it with many different films that can change the history. I mean, film is a really powerful tool because it goes, it gets to every. If you have a distribution company that wants to do it, and you can get into every home, and that's the reason I chose to do a film that it was a family friendly film, because I talked to different people and different producers and said, well, you're doing a film about climate, you should be angry, you should be, combative, and you should be. I said, no. I'm a filmmaker, and I decided to do, in my own experience, I decided that getting angry maybe was not going to get me that far. I wanted to do a film with hope, positivity, because I watch a lot of environmental documentaries that I love, and they're amazing, and they're on Netflix and all these streamers or Amazon, and they're changing the perspective of many people. I don't think enough, but they're on the way. But they're giving a lot of information. But what I saw, it was very catastrophic especially for children. It's like in these documentaries, they're very dramatic, and if you change or it's going to be the end of the world. So I wanted to do the opposite. I wanted to do a film that was positive with a lot of climate solutions and not scaring children, not just inviting them. I'm inviting families, even if it's a small change. There's a lot of things we can all do around the world, and we can all come together. And that's the reason the project is trying to create like we're on the way to create a network, even like maybe a possible TV series on a second part, a third part, like a saga of environmental, of documentaries to keep educating and keep inviting children from all over the world and creating a safe space where we can teach them solutions. And I honestly believe that we still have time. I know the clock is clicking, it's time for a change, but that's my contribution that's what I'm trying to accomplish, and I think I have a good team for helping for
Yeah, I think in that sense that the film not only gives hope, because sometimes hope just makes you feel optimistic about the future, but passive, like you hope that something is going to get better, but you don't work on it. But the film actually inspires you more than hope. So to take action and do things, and that we are even children can do things to help climate change. So in that sense, it's really beautiful.
We try to do is give a lot of information to of websites, non-profits. All the kids have, most of the kids have a website that you can write to them, and they invite you to a lot of events that they're creating, especially the ones in USA, and even Guyana. Malaika from Kenya, she organized a lot of events from to clean the lakes, to clean the beach, to plant trees. So all this, there's a lot of information. I put the information of Grace of Green, that is this nonprofit that help people to become greener and environmental, and help them to there's a lot of educational information in the film. And so that was very important for us, for me, and to keep, like you said, to not only to be inspired, but just the tools to go ahead and join the movement.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So as you were mentioning, this amazing theme that you have and that is being portrayed throughout the film, we were wondering, because as a bit of older children ourselves at this point, what role do you think that young people specifically play in the context of climate change? And why did you choose to specifically portray children's stories that are changing stuff in this movie?
Yeah, it was all planned. It was children's telling a story to children's, because I didn't want the adults. I mean, the adults were making the movie, but I think that they're the most important people right now because they're the ones that are going to inherit this planet. And so also for me, it's the most important, youth empowerment right now. It's my mission. And that's the reason we're also working there's a lot of talks now for a possible TV show to keep spreading, or a second documentary to keep spreading the message. And also there's a lot more young people that we think, there's a movement and right now happening all over the world, because we receive emails from a lot of people from all over the world. And what I did with the film is try to put it together, so that because what we talk at the end, film is such a powerful tool that if we can spread the message around the world, showing these people, young people, are doing things. And like I said, they're so worried about it, and I don't think they're being given the right. I think we need to give them more protagonism, and that was what I was trying, because young people, they're the key to really to make a change right now. Starting, I have a girl she's 5 years old now. She's 7 or 8 from Brazil, and her father is also an environmentalist, but she became viral because she goes every day with her dad in the surfboard, cleaning the plastic from the ocean. And she's teaching, she's now going to schools, teaching a lot of little kids in Brazil to how to, keep the ocean clean and keep the environment clean. And so give them tips and teaching them. So I think young people is the key. I mean, they're the most important, and I am on my side when they give them the protagonism that they deserve and the right to express themselves and inspire the rest of the world.
I think that's really important because I'm a scientist, I'm synthetic biologist, and I feel like the public, like the people, kind of think that climate change and solving this problem is like more of our work than everybody's work. Like only us can do things to change the world, but it's the everyday actions, the everyday people is the one who are going to change the world. Not only us, we are going to help. Maybe we can give technology, but it's everyone that should act. So in that sense, I also love that the kids are being portrayed because it shows like you don't have to be someone with a lot of power or someone in high class or anyone can do it, and you must want to do it and just start. So that's really important. So in that sense, what do you think that the impact of this film will have in policies, in public, kids?
Yeah, it's a really good question. When I read it, it's a really good question. So, I'm going to put an example, because of how small actions are so important. I was thinking the other day, we've been trying to educate parents, Katia and I, and when we were in the elementary, I saw these moms, they buy these little plastic bags for their kids' snacks, okay? So they get this bulk, because it's cheap. Plastic is cheap, they put like 3 or 4 every day. 365 days is I think I did the calculations, like 1,000, only just one mom in a small little snack bag for their children. And we it's using like 1,500 or 2,000 little bags a year that is polluting the environment. But not only the environment, to the point, I mean, there's message in the movie that is very clear. There's studies already that prove we're all eating the amount of one credit card of plastic a week, because everything is in plastic. So if the children that watch a movie start to tell their parents, hey mom, I don't want, can we use a reusable little bag? I don't need 3 or 4 plastic bags every day. So that would be an amazing, these small changes will be an amazing start. But also regarding politicians, we have so much work to do, and not only politicians, also with these enormous companies, corporations.
Yeah.
The last response for Coca-Cola is when they were asked for, to stop making their Coca-Cola bottles of plastic. It says, our clients love the plastic, so we're not going to stop. So if we as a clients we stop using the plastic, and because it's already in our, there's proof that there's already in our bloodstream. It's already in getting, and it's the cause of major illness and major problems in children right now. So we do really need to start. I hope the little by little or sooner, not little by little, because we have to start now. We understand the message. One of my questions for you guys is the message of the movie clear? It's
Definitely.
Yes.
We saw it by ourselves, and then we also watched it together, and we were talking about how, because He comes from a scientific background, and I've studied politics and policy, so I come from the whole other aspect of it. But we both agree that something that the movie does amazingly, and that you just explained, is that many times we put the whole responsibility into big corporate and also politicians, which it is a reality that they have a big weight in it. But if we start doing some actions, it works also like a domino effect, and it ends up in resulting in them having to take action and changing things. So the movie leaves you with that idea that, as Karim also said, that you just don't feel hopeful for a miracle to happen and the earth being great again. That you have to do some action, and if a lot of us start doing it, it will have a repercussion into the big people that can change bigger things sooner. So yeah, we were both very inspired with the film.
Also, in the part of that in the film, like there were like really beautiful scenes of nature, and it touched me because I studied biotechnology because I love nature. That love made me study and wanted to fight climate change. So I think it's really important, like to also see, not only to teach kids that it's good for the environment to recycle, but what is nature? How beautiful is it? How beautiful is a frog? How beautiful is the sea? So in that sense, all the really beautiful landscapes, also in the Ecuador, were amazing. I loved it. So yeah.
We got the cinematographer in the Amazon rainforest had to go through a canoe to the jungle to film. It was amazing, and it's so beautiful. One of the things Katia is she's been working close to Janet Wanulema, that is the indigenous environmentalist that we've been helping. So Katia helped them with a fundraising to start. They're starting a project now where they're going to convert 32,000 acres of the Amazon rainforest. They buy in it, and they're going to convert it in an environmental little hotel where they can buy people from all over the world and see how beautiful the Amazon rainforest and keep it, natural and so preserve it. So there's so much we can do, and starting to create and to go and be on the right side of the history and create it, keep this, because how you, Karim, and you working, how beautiful is our planet, and it's stunning, and we only have one, and we can't we can't understand how other people, it's just because of greed and money, it's just letting it go, especially in some parts of the Amazon rainforest and all over the world. Look at Kenya. I mean, Iana, she tells a story where she talks to her mom, I said, Mom, why I can't play outside? And said, because climate change is making the weather so hot. The kids can't play outside. So what they need is to replant thousands of trees and regenerate all the green. So the solutions are there. It's just we have to integrate it, and we all have to come together.
I think it's super good to stop and appreciate what we have for granted. Like I was talking yesterday with a friend that was living in Colombia for a year, and he told me that people from there, you saw them at the natural parks that were like amazingly beautiful, and they were throwing the cigarettes in nature, like with no, like there's no this education about caring about nature and taking it for granted.
Definitely.
Like you have to stop.
Many times we take ourselves, we do this dichotomy where we separate like human and nature. Yeah. And I think it's one of the biggest problems, and that we really liked about the My Name is Climate, because it involves you into literally seeing climate as something that you're a part of yourself. Like people take it for granted that it's this special thing that no, we'll start doing some changes, but it is not an option, it's a need. And that's something that people have to understand, and definitely that the film portrays it pretty well. Yeah.
And I think that was also a goal to really show how beautiful nature is to children, because we don't appreciate nature, we can't, and we don't love nature, then there's no motivation to protect it,
Totally.
There's a lot of
So
initiatives, sorry, to create cities, even bring nature to the cities and plan, build green spaces.
yes, I'm actually that it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm starting my master's degree in urban planning. And I one of the most important things for me is creating that the idea that cities can be green. We have created this idea that is like, no, the countryside and the city, but we can integrate them and we can make greener cities where all of us are there. And yeah, it's really inspiring.
Yeah, we can create beautiful green cities. And that's
Definitely.
the future. I think that's the future.
Let's hope for it. So
Yeah.
as we're mentioning right now in the film and the different kids that each of one of them has a very unique kind of project, we were going to ask a few questions to Katia. That you being just 16 years old, you're already involved in so many different projects regarding the climate change, and it's really surprising and admiring that you can do that being such a young girl. And we were wondering if you can recall when you first realized that you wanted to involve yourself as an activist. Like, was there a specific moment or cause that drove you into searching that?
Yeah, so I think when I was about 6 years old, I was in fourth or yeah, I was very, very young. Um, I started seeing lots of plastic in the environment. I started walking around in my playground at school. There were bottles, there were plastic bags. I saw birds eating the plastic, and something didn't feel right. I was looking at the news, seeing that pollution was really affecting our environment. And like my mom mentioned, I went to her and I said, "Is there anything we can do to help?" And that's how I got involved in Grades of Green. And I initially started my small projects of recycling and reducing the pollution at my school. We ended up getting styrofoam trays banned, plastic forks banned, and I really just wanted to make those small steps in reducing the amount of waste that was in my specific community.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Thank
Katia, in the film, we saw your passion about renewable energy. We saw the machine you created, and it was like amazing for me that someone from your age like started a project on her own. Because I don't know, at least in my background, I was feeling intimidated a little bit about science. Like I thought that I was going to make science after the degree, the masters, and you started like with your age. And what suggestions how do you can tackle this intimidation from adults or people from science to don't think about that and start doing your things?
Yeah. I highly recommend that anyone my age that's interested in STEM or science and feels that intimidation should go online and really research what they're interested in and find ways that they can get involved. I mean, in the era of YouTube and social media, there's so many ways that we can research these topics and make them more palatable. And I really highly encourage that. Even if you start small, there's lots of projects about making electricity from potatoes, and there's lots of at-home projects you can do to spark your interest and get involved. And those projects can grow into bigger projects like they did with myself. I started small, kind of researching renewable energy and how we can make it more efficient. And then I created Daisy and I started researching more ways to create electricity from waste itself and really started developing those projects. So I just highly recommend watching the YouTube videos and looking at even social media content about what you're interested in, reading articles, anything to get you involved, and finding communities where you can share those interests with other young people is really, really important. I know that I do science fair, and that has been a big driving factor in some of my science research, has been having the opportunity to share that research with other people and get different perspectives on that research as well. So I highly recommend finding those communities and doing your own research and just starting small, starting as soon as you can to get involved and not let that intimidation stop you.
Sorry to interrupt, but Kyle Tianci in the movie too, he gives a really good advice of create your own garage lab.
Yes, yes.
And invite your friends to research and to, I mean, there's so many tools right now, no? And after he created his own website to invite other people to share all the projects.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways right now. We're all connected, it's like a around the world.
Yeah, sorry.
Can you recommend us any YouTube channel that inspired you or that you feel like it's a good source of inspiration?
I honestly,
Mr. Carter has one, no? No, your science teacher, no? Oh, okay.
My chemistry.
Your chemistry teacher has a channel.
Honestly, for inspirational content, I really love Bill Nye the Science Guy. He shares a lot of. Recently, he's been sharing a lot of interesting content about climate change and electricity, and I really think that he delivers it in a very palatable way to understand it easily. So I think that watching Bill Nye the Science Guy is a great starting point. Yeah.
We'll take notes from it, definitely. We started checking it out, mostly me, that I don't have a single clue about science. As you were mentioning right now about implying yourself firstly in your local community, which I think is a vital step to start from there. We then see in the documentary your relation, your application with the Amazon environment and its communities. So we can see that you don't only contemplate climate as a merely local thing, but as this interconnected and global situation that has that weight. So dealing with this such a big international relation, what could you tell us that was your biggest lesson through collaborating with them?
Yeah, I would say one of my biggest lessons is how important environmental justice is on a global scale and how intersectional that problem is. We're not just looking at the wealthiest countries that may not be experiencing all of the effects from climate change right now. We really need to look at the entire world and the global scope of how every country and every person will experience this issue because it's so intersectional. And any parts of that identity, socioeconomic status, geographical location, will affect how every person views climate change. And for me, for example, I don't experience a lot of the harsh weather living in Los Angeles that they might experience in Haiti or in the Amazon rainforest. I know Janeth Guanulema, their water is polluted with oil from fracking and deforestation. That's not something I experience. So I think what I've learned is how important it is to seek out different perspectives in climate change and understand how intersectional the issue really is.
Yeah, I think that's a topic that gets me a little bit mad because I think Global North put the factories in Global South.
Yeah.
And then we polluted the rivers, the nature, and then now they are the ones who are most suffering these consequences.
Yeah.
So it's like also in that sense, older generations were the ones who produced more carbon dioxide and started this industrialization, and we as a new generation, we are going to be the ones who suffer the consequences. We are kind of the victims, but also not the victims, but the ones who have to act in order to solve that problem. So
Yeah.
in that sense, how do you see the future is? How do you expect the future is going to be for young generation, and how do you keep up with the optimism?
Yeah, I think that I see a lot of hope in the future. I see when we were creating this project, we were seeing so many young people with this drive to help our environment and these inspirational projects. And I really do think that even with this project, inspiring young people and promoting that connection for climate change, that drive for climate action will be incredibly important in the future. And I think that it's really important that we spread the message that, you know, you don't have to, like what you were saying, you don't have to get the degree to start climate action. You don't have to know everything about one topic to start and push for that action. Any step counts, even just informing yourself and then spreading that message to 10 of your friends will count, because then those 10 friends will go tell their 10 friends, and those 10 friends will tell their 10 friends. And it's really important that we spread that message. So I think looking in the future, I hope to see young people binding together and pushing for this action and realizing that we have power. As the people, we have power to make change in our governments, in these corporations. And I hope that people will take that power and really use it to do good for the climate. And I think that to maintain that optimism, it's really important that we look at these incredible projects that are already happening. Like in this documentary, there are so many people and so many kids who care deeply about the earth and have so many sustainable projects. And I think looking into those and starting your own is such an incredible way of fighting for that climate action.
Yeah, I mean, their own communities too. They're making incredible changes, like they're, you know, making government changes law where some areas, cities, they're already, you know, banning single-use plastic because of children. You know, they're banning you know, banning the plastic straws, even if the president of the United States is brought it back. Anyway, so there's a lot of things that are happening right now as we are talking, and hopefully, you know, it's you know, the change is coming.
In that sense, I hope that these kind of policies is not just being greenwashing, as you stated in the film, but also in the film that was there was a really interesting and important fact. It was that products itself should be designed to be recycled. Like for now, we are recycling products that were not designed to be recycled. So the thing is, you have to design also the post-using of these.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like we should change like this idea that you were saying also in the documentary, that so many times greenwashing takes this whole perspective as, no, we're going to implement these different policies to change all these plastic bottles and make new ones. And it's like, okay, like it's better than throwing them away, but what is going to change if we're still producing plastic bottles?
They manipulate a lot of the information. We have to be aware that a lot of corporations are greenwashing. They're telling you they're doing things that that's not helping the environment. You know, they say they do it, but it's not. They're not. They're greenwashing. so the materials also for chains are there. I mean, there's a lot of even supermarkets. We're constantly posting. I would like to develop more films, but that's is in the process. But I'm constantly posting in the social media of Green SuperHeroes supermarkets that are using banana peel instead of plastic. You know, there's a lot. Japan just invented a new material that substitutes plastic that is completely ecologic and dissolve in water. That is, it's not non-toxic. So Japan just did that. So
there's a lot of resources out there that can be used. It's just a matter of using our money and our power to support these businesses that are using these sustainable alternatives rather than supporting the greenwashing corporations.
Yeah, Katia and I were constantly supporting a small business that we use compostable plastic bags for the garbage. We're using these little pots now for just to wash, you know, everything that we can avoid to use any single-use plastic. We bring our own bags all the time. Sometimes we forget, we're humans, but most of the time, 90% of the times, bring our own.
We never use plastic bags.
We never use plastic bags. We're composting. We're you know, we're trying to. It's true. You have to tell people we're not perfect, obviously. So, but we're gonna have to try our best. In the movie, also we encourage at least to do once a week plant-based. Yeah,
Yes.
Monday. I know it's a difficult subject,
But another
meat.
thing with the rise of, the carnivore diet and everything, I saw some social media that said no one ever died from a protein deficiency from having one plant-based meal a week, It's
And
really
it's like it's a very reactionary message too. Like the whole of thing of climate is right now in a political context that it's a bit complex. So dealing with this stuff, it may be uncomfortable. I see it sometimes. It's not the same talking these subjects with a friend than maybe someone the age of your grandparents, because that is different. But even though it's uncomfortable, it's necessary. And sometimes regarding this kind of subjects, I talk with Karim a lot about the fashion industry and the lots of problems that has of it. And we chat sometimes about how when you mention to a friend that is spending like hundreds and hundreds of euros in shops like Shane and Timo and stuff like that, they get like sort of defensive, and it's like, well, everyone's buying it and it's not my fault, and it's politicians things to change. And it's like, okay, definitely someone who flies on a private jet has more responsibility than you, but we have to also accept this part of individual responsibility. And I'm not pointing at you, I'm just telling you, like, it's uncomfortable, it's that, but we can change that too.
Yeah, we can. I was in the Hollywood Climate Summit this 3 past days, and there was a story that got me. One of the executives from Beyond Meat, the plant-based meat from the United States, was there. So he told a story about it was very interesting, because that's what we're fighting to. When they first released, their products, that and it was a sensation. Wow, plant-based meat. The company went, like, it was one of the most important companies. Their stock market went up. It was phenomenal. We have an auction for the people who love their meat to have. So he said he mentioned that the company, the reason he lost a lot of, the stocks went down, is because the meat industry came back with putting millions and millions of dollars trying to, tell people that plant-based meat wasn't healthy.
Yes.
And so he said he was sad, no? Like I said, and so now they're coming back, with a new campaign. They also even changed some of their recipes, including, taking all the bad oils and using avocado oil, and with a very, very healthy recipe. And also studies to show that plant-based meat lowers your cholesterol, lowers, it gets, it's a more healthy product than the meat. So when it's actually, so that's what the story kind of like, it struck me, I said, so it's like the dairy industry, they're constantly bombarding you that the dairy is more healthy than the plant-based.
Yes.
So there's a war of corporations.
It's a marketing battle almost, like.
Yeah, it's a marketing, but I think, the real information should be available for people to decide what what they have, how healthy they want to be and how much they want to help the environment. So that's what we're trying to do, spread the message.
Another thing that a lot of people don't understand is, like, yes, these corporations are at fault for producing these things, but you are supporting them producing these things when you buy their product. So if everyone stopped buying their product, they would be forced to change their product.
Definitely.
I think we, as a public, we have forgotten this power that we have about the choices we do when we buy. Is kind of our power too.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. So thank you. We want to thank you a lot, Katia and Los Angeles, for this interview. And I say to all the people that is watching us to I kindly invited to watch Super Green Heroes of 2030, and it's a really inspiring movie, and we are really thankful for having you both here.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you both. And I'm really happy you guys are in Spain too, because it's my hometown. And thank you for this interview. It's
a great opportunity.
A great opportunity. Yeah. I hope you watch the movie.
A great opportunity for us too. We're living this almost like we left watching the film. It's like also a beacon of hope. Like it really feels like that.
Yeah, our message is that we're all green. We can all be green superheroes. You know, in our own way. So with the small changes or big changes, or if you have a big project, but it's the opportunities are there for all of us to change.
Totally.
And have a greener planet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.